Hi, welcome to the Whitey White Guy Show. I'm Whitey, and today I'm going to review slash talk about the film Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. This was the follow-up to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and which I just did a review on, so check that out. If you want my 2 cents on that. So, real quick, Bill and Ted are two high school students in the first one. I think they just graduated high school in the second one. I don't remember. And they get a visit from a guy named Rufus, who's from the future, who gives them a telephone booth looking thing that is a time machine, and they go back in time and meet and kind of collect historical figures for their history. This is such a ridiculous plot synopsis. To in order to pass the history exam or oral presentation history exam, or Keanu Reeves, which is, I keep forgetting who's Bill and who's Ted, or he's going to go off to military school. Be sent to military school by his dad if they fail the history course, so they have to pass the history course. They go back and, Rufus brings them the time machine. They go back in time. They ultimately pass the history exam. As a whole, it takes some explaining. So this is the sequel, and in the future, about 800 years in the future, where Rufus is from, an evil Darth Vader guy attacks Rufus in his classroom setting kind of thing, and it has brought with him two robots to send back into the past to the current year of the film to destroy Bill and Ted, because Bill and Ted are their band is going to write a song that's going to save humanity in the future, and something they're going to do that hasn't happened yet is like, as I said before, it's kind of like Jesus. It's going to create Christianity and bring about world peace or something. The evil bad guy doesn't want that to happen for reasons. She explains it and everything else. So the two evil robots that look just like Bill and Ted go back in time to the current year of Bill and Ted, at the film you're watching in 1991, and they kill Bill and Ted and then go about destroying their lives. Even though by killing them, that should solve the bad guy's problem, but they have to these robots go and try to destroy their reputation and their relationship with their girlfriends and all kinds of mayhem. In the meantime, Bill and Ted are dead. And at one point they run into Death, played by William Sadler, who was they're like, is there any way we can get out of this, bro? And William Sadler's like, you have to defeat me in the competition. The only way. And they're like, pass. So they end up going to hell, which it never really explained why these two guys would end up in hell, but the movie. And it's bad. It's bad for them. It's not the pit of suffering and torture in the traditional sense, but it's the devil plays with their psychology and puts them both in heinous positions. I think I'm using that word right. So because hell is not good, they then agree to accept Death, who again is played by William Sadler, his challenge. And this is where the film is at its funniest, because he says, choose your game. And the game they go with is Battleship. Now remember, this is 1991, and I hate to say it, but there's product placement throughout these films. So it was a popular game at the time. So Death is on one side of the table, Bill and Ted are the other side of the table, and Death is like, B4. And Bill and Ted are like, miss, dude. And then Death is like, ooh. And eventually they sink his battleship. They beat Death. And Death is like, do out of 3. And so they end up playing all these board games and stuff. So instead of a challenge of sabers or swords or jousting, it's board games. And it's funny as shit. William Sadler does a great job. The sense of humor is on par. The film's been kind of middling to this point, and this is when I was laughing. Um, so they beat death, so they then go to heaven, and their God gives them the green light to try to fix everything. And then they're looking for two scientists who turn out to be aliens named Station. It's like two guys are actually one guy, and they're alien-looking dudes. And so they go back to Earth and build robots of their own to defeat the evil Bill and Ted robots. And then, of course, like at the end of the first one, they have to do this historical oral report, like in front of the whole high school or graduating class or something. And it's like a big rock concert, and then everybody thinks they're cool. So you end up doing the same thing. They end up at this rock concert, and then the good guy robots kill the bad guy robots, and then the good guys beat the bad guys and get the evil dude gets Melvin, who started the whole thing in the future, gets Melvin by death, and Melvin is a wedgie. Um, it's pretty cray. It's a pretty cray movie. Everybody agrees the first one was better. The sequel wasn't great. And I really, having seen them before way back, I really just like watched a few parts and then fast forwarded to like remind, how does this scene end? Fast forward. Oh, that's right. And then they give Death of Melvin, which again is a wedgie. These are likable films. They're very goofball. It's Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves who are in their early mid-20s going, whoa, bro, should we do it? Oh, we should, bro. Bro! That thing. Um, it never necessarily gets annoying. It's enduring. Both actors do a good job with it. But without question, William Sadler's death is the funniest part of the movie. It's the best part. Everything death is involved in that film is without question the best part of the film. Just what it is. It has its moments of here and there, but it's really not that great of a film. And neither of these films, nobody's putting a lot of brain power into the script. That's not the point. The point is to be goofy and have fun. And the films achieve. But the first one's the better one. The second one isn't that great, but it has its moments. Mostly with death. So neither of these are like amazing films the way you would watch. I would say Young Guns 2 was a great film. Predator was a great film. Films of that era. These aren't great films. They're just fun, enjoyable, but memorable films. So Bill and Ted, not epic, not fantastic, not great, but we all remember it from the 80s and early 90s, and it earned its place. They're fair. They're okay. For what they're intended to be, they're fine. And that's my thoughts on Bill and Ted, and more specifically, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It has its moments. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Either or. And then I was going to pirate. I just pirated these two because I haven't seen them in a while. I was going to pirate the most recent one, Bill and Ted Face the Music. And then I was like, if you pirate something from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, nobody cares 5 years ago. But that came out like last year. We just started 2022 and that came out in 2020. And I'm like, it's a little too soon. That might get me in trouble. So I'll see if I can purchase it somewhere or if I just like fuck it and download it and roll the dice. And then I'll review that one and see how I feel about Bill and Ted Face the Music. But I haven't seen it before. Been watching some reviews on it, and I'm not getting great or not or awful. Seems like it's middle of the road. So, but that's what Bill and Ted is. They're middle of the road, okay, enjoyable films. They've got their moments. So, it's my review on Bogus Journey. I'll see you guys on the next one. I got 20 seconds to kill here. They say you want to make these 10 minutes long. That's Star Fox on Nintendo 64 playing back there. I'll be doing some gameplay on that pretty soon. Some Nintendo games. Super Nintendo. Regular Nintendo. Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers.